It was a bright Monday morning at Maplewood Elementary. The school was buzzing with chatter, squeaky shoes, and the clinking of lunchboxes. Kids laughed and played in the yard, some trading stickers, others showing off toys, and many sneaking bites of their favorite candies. But everything changed that morning. A large red poster was taped on the bulletin board outside the principal's office. The words were bold and serious. "Attention, students. Candy is officially banned in school. No candy in backpacks, lunchboxes, or pockets. Anyone caught will face strict punishment. Principal Parker." The kids gathered around the poster with their mouths hanging open. Max, a mischievous boy with spiky hair, threw his hands in the air. "No candy? That's like banning air," he cried. His best friend Lily clutched her bag in shock. "But I just bought rainbow lollipops yesterday. What am I supposed to do with them now?" Tommy, the class clown, fell to the ground dramatically. "Goodbye, chocolate bars. Goodbye, gummy bears. Life has no meaning anymore." The kids groaned in despair. Inside the classroom, their teacher, Ms. Thompson, stood tall with her ruler in hand. She tapped it on the desk to call for silence. "Class, I know you've seen the notice. Candy is banned starting today. Principal Parker says candy makes you hyper and distracts you from learning." The children slumped in their seats. Max raised his hand and tried to argue. "But Ms. Thompson, candy also makes us happy. Isn't happiness good for learning?" The class giggled, but Ms. Thompson shook her head. "Nice try, Max. Rules are rules." Although they pretended to listen during the lesson, the children exchanged determined glances. They weren't going to give up candy without a fight. At recess, Max gathered his closest friends behind the big oak tree in the playground. Lily, Tommy, and Sarah, the quiet but clever girl, joined him. Max stood tall like a general. "We can't let this candy ban destroy us. We'll form a club, a secret candy club. Mission, sneak candy into school without getting caught." The kids' eyes lit up with excitement. Lily leaned closer. "But how?" "They're checking our bags." Sarah smiled slyly. "That's where creativity comes in." "We just have to outsmart them." Tommy pumped his fist. "Operation Candy Sneak is on." The very next morning, they tested their first plan. Max stuffed lollipops inside empty marker pens. Lily filled her pencil box with chocolates wrapped in eraser paper. Tommy taped gummy worms under the sole of his shoe. Sarah carried a hollowed-out book with chocolate bars hidden inside. As they entered the classroom, Miss Thompson carefully inspected each backpack. Max held his breath as she flipped through his notebooks but ignored the marker pens. Lily pretended to sneeze loudly when Miss Thompson glanced at her pencil box, shutting it quickly before the chocolates were discovered. Sarah kept her book close, acting like it was just for studying. But then disaster struck. As Tommy walked to his seat, one of his gummy worms slipped from under his shoe and dangled across the floor like a slimy string. Miss Thompson's sharp eyes caught it instantly. "Tommy, what is that?" she demanded. Tommy looked down, panicked, and stammered, My shoelace?" The entire class erupted with laughter. Ms. Thompson sighed, confiscated the gummy worm, and gave Tommy a warning. "One strike, Tommy." After school, the candy club gathered again. "We need to be sneakier," Sarah said, pushing up her glasses. "We can't let silly mistakes expose us." The others nodded. The next day, Sarah unveiled her brilliant plan. "We hide candy as healthy snacks. Candy in disguise." She pulled out a carrot stick, broke it in half, and revealed gummy bears tucked inside. The kids gasped in admiration. She showed them celery sticks stuffed with chocolates, lollipops tucked into banana peels, and even a sandwich with cookies hidden between layers of lettuce. The children laughed and cheered. At lunchtime, they tested it. The group sat together, munching on vegetables and fruits that were actually full of candy. Max bit into a celery stick and grinned when chocolate oozed out. "This is genius," he whispered. Lily sucked on a lollipop hidden in a banana peel. Tommy devoured a sandwich stuffed with jelly beans. Just then, Principal Parker walked past their table. His eyes narrowed suspiciously. "Children, why are you all so excited about celery?" he asked in a deep, suspicious voice. The group froze. Sarah quickly grabbed a real celery stick and crunched into it loudly. "We just really love veggies, sir," she said innocently. Principal Parker stared at them for a long moment before walking away. As soon as he was gone, the kids let out a breath of relief and then burst out laughing. Word spread about the secret candy club. By Friday, half the class had joined. Candy was hidden in water bottles, stuffed into hollow erasers, taped under desks, and even tucked into shoelaces. But the more students joined, the harder it became to keep it a secret. Principal Parker grew more suspicious. He patrolled the hallways like a detective, peeking into classrooms and sniffing the air for sugar. That afternoon, Max pulled out a chocolate bar hidden inside a dictionary. Just as he took a bite, the classroom door burst open and Principal Parker stormed in. "Freeze!" he barked. The class gasped. Max panicked, dropped the chocolate, and bolted out of the room. The principal chased after him. "Run, Max, run!" Tommy shouted from the doorway. The chase turned into chaos. Max sprinted through the hallways, dodging lockers and weaving between other students. Principal Parker huffed and puffed behind him, his tie flapping wildly. The chocolate bar slipped from Max's hand and flew across the corridor. Lily leapt forward and caught it mid-air, stuffing it into her hoodie pocket. But Principal Parker was relentless. He cornered Max near the library. "You can't run forever, young man," he said sternly. Just then, Sarah appeared with her hollow book. Wait, Max wasn't eating chocolate. He was studying with me. She opened the book quickly, showing a page of math problems she had glued inside the cover. Principal Parker squinted. Maybe I was mistaken. He adjusted his glasses and walked away slowly. The kids high-fived each other in triumph. Over the next week, their tricks grew bolder. Emma smuggled marshmallows by hiding them in her hair bun. Jason hollowed out his soccer ball and filled it with candy, bouncing it around the playground. Mia wrapped candy bars inside tissue boxes. Even Quiet Sam joined, sneaking jelly beans inside his pencil sharpener. But every great plan faces a great risk. During a surprise classroom inspection, Principal Parker marched in with Ms. Thompson. "Students, we will be checking all bags today." The kids' faces turned pale. Max whispered, "This is it. We're doomed." One by one, the principal searched bags. He pulled out harmless pencils, books, and crayons. When he reached Lily's bag, he pulled out a strange-looking water bottle. He twisted it open and sniffed. "Is this orange juice?" He took a sip. It was indeed juice. The candy hidden in the bottom went unnoticed. The kids smiled secretly. But then, disaster struck again. Tommy forgot that he had taped gummy worms under his desk. As the principal walked by, one worm slipped loose and dangled like before. The entire class tried to hold in their laughter. Principal Parker's face turned red. "Enough. I know candy is being smuggled. And if I catch anyone, there will be detention for a week." The tension grew. Some kids wanted to give up, but Max shook his head. "No, this is more than candy now. This is about freedom. If we want our sweets, we need one final big plan." That night, the candy club gathered at Max's house for a secret meeting. They brainstormed the biggest candy sneak in history. The plan was daring. The next day was Friday, and the school was having an assembly in the gym. While everyone was distracted, they would host the great candy feast. Friday arrived. The kids smuggled in candy like never before. Chocolate bars hidden in art supplies, lollipops in shoe heels, gummies inside juice boxes, marshmallows in hats, jelly beans taped under chairs. By the time of the assembly, the kids had successfully brought in more candy than ever before. As the principal gave a long, boring speech about discipline, Max whispered, "Now." The children quietly passed candy around the rows. Wrappers crinkled softly, chocolate melted in mouths, and lollipops sparkled in the dim gym light. For a moment it felt like victory, but suddenly Principal Parker stopped his speech and sniffed the air. "Wait a second. Do I smell chocolate?" He scanned the crowd. The kids froze, cheeks stuffed with sweets. Parker marched down the aisle, his eyes sharp. He stopped right in front of Max. "Open your mouth," he demanded. Max hesitated, then opened slowly. But before Parker could scold him, Ms. Thompson stepped forward. She looked at Parker, then at the children, and then sighed. "Principal Parker, perhaps we've been too strict. Children need fun. Maybe instead of banning candy, we should teach moderation." The children stared at her in shock. Even Parker blinked. Then, to everyone's surprise, Ms. Thompson reached into her pocket and pulled out a lollipop. She unwrapped it, popped it in her mouth, and smiled. Even teachers enjoy a little sweetness now and then. The entire gym erupted with laughter. Principal Parker finally cracked a smile. "All right, you win. Candy isn't banned anymore." But from now on, candy only during lunch breaks and in small amounts. The children cheered, throwing their candy in the air like confetti. The candy club had won. From that day forward, candy was no longer a forbidden treasure, but a special treat to be shared. The kids learned that sneaking and lying wasn't the answer, but standing together with creativity and fun could change even the strictest rules. And though they would never forget the thrill of their sneaky adventures, they knew the sweetest victory of all was sharing candy and laughter with friends.